Welcome the viewers to this segment of your show. As I said in the introduction, we have once again a man who we had some weeks back on the show. Epelle doesn't need introduction on this show because what we had the last time was quite moving. But he's here on another note today. Epelle is the CEO of the Albino Foundation, which we talked about the last time. But Epelle is also a man very vested in the media. And we want to talk about media today. Jake, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
We want to talk about the revelation that God is giving you concerning Christian in media. But let's go back and just talk about, you had a TV show some while back in your country,
Nigeria.
8 years. Yes. For 8 years in your country, Nigeria. It was called Jesus is Lord Live.
Yes.
And it was basically an evangelistic show on one of the channels in your country. And you've had opportunity to visit and be with the National Broadcasting
Religious Broadcasting.
National Religious Broadcasting Association
in the U.S.
In the U.S., attending their conference and all that. But you said in the midst of all of this, God started to speak to you about Christians in media. Can you walk us back at how this happened? How did God interact with you? What was happening on that day?
Well, I was looking at the media. And the fact that a lot of people were saying, oh, media is the devil's toolbox and all that.
This was around when?
This is far back in 2001.
About 17 years ago, or 18 years ago.
Yeah. And the Lord said to me, no, media is in my end time plan. Media is established by God. And began to open up scriptures and began to show me media in prophecy. The first encounter I had was the knowing the systems in the media and its implication in the Bible. In context, not out of context.
Yeah.
If you look at Psalm 19, and you read through Psalm 19 from verse 1 to 7, David saw what we are seeing today.
Okay.
David saw satellite broadcasting. If you can read that, let's start with that. Psalm 19.
Psalm 19.
Yes.
I'm going to open it up in my Bible here.
Yes.
Just give me a second. Psalm 19.
Now, beginning from verse 1.
The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the works of his hands.
That's right.
Day after day, they pour forth speech.
Day after day, they do what?
Pour forth speech.
Now, watch this. It says, heaven declares the glory of God. The cloud speaks of his handwork. But they began to say day after day, they do what?
They pour forth speech.
All right. So their voices are heard, right?
Yeah.
So what is it talking about? It's talking about media signal being released into the clouds. Clouds don't speak.
Yeah.
But what is in the clouds speaks. What we're doing, the television we're watching all over the world today is being done in one small room and then is released into the cloud. And then you began to hear voices. But here he was speaking about 24 hours broadcast.
Yeah.
Because he was saying you will hear their voices in several languages.
Yeah.
Read on, sir.
It says they have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them, yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world.
Exactly.
In the heavens, God has pitched the tent for the sun.
Hold on. It talks about the sun. Satellite broadcasting. It said you don't hear their speech because it is sent as a signal into the air and disseminated.
Yeah.
So David was seeing the satellite broadcast and even used the word that we're using today. He said they are circuit. Read on, read on.
It says that, and you know, when you talk about you don't hear the sound, I just think of the way we have all this network transmitting everywhere. You look around visibly, you don't see anything.
You have to have a box.
Yeah, it's actually out there in the air. It doesn't make noise, but once you have the right receptor, media is coming to you on your phone, on the set. So I'm seeing something I never saw before.
Yeah, you know what just hit me now?
Yeah.
It's a further proof that God created everything through sound.
Yeah.
God created everything through sound.
Yeah, because he said, let there be. And
exactly. And everything he said, let there be, became. You know. So David was looking at satellite broadcasting. But let me paint the picture accurately, prophetically. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50. Jeremiah chapter 50. You will see the presentation.
Jeremiah chapter 50.
From verse 1.
This is the word the Lord spoke through Jeremiah the prophet.
So God was speaking through Jeremiah.
Concerning Babylon and the land of the Babylonians. Announce and proclaim among the nations.
Hold on.
Lift up a banner and proclaim it.
Fantastic. He says announce and proclaim. He said lift up a banner. The word that was used there simply said set up a signal to broadcast.
Wow. In the Hebrew.
Yes. Set up a signal to broadcast. There's nothing that you and I are seeing today that is not a product of prophecy.
So the Lord is the Lord of the media.
Exactly.
He's the media.
Let me give you the one that will shock you. In Revelation chapter 1 verse 7, the Bible, Jesus records that when he comes, all eyes will see him. Hold on. All eyes will see him, right? Now, we understand if you follow end time study, the earth is not going to change.
Yeah.
So Jesus comes in Jerusalem, and there are people here in Nigeria. He sets his foot on Mount Sinai. Guess what? CNN has their camera stationed there. They asked the Turner one day, why is it that you have deployed the camera? He said, no, we want to know when the Lord will come so that we can broadcast.
Turner said so?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So invariably, when Jesus will come, the media will be attracted. So where you are, one side of the earth will be sleeping, one side of the earth will be awake. But the broadcast is 24 hours. So definitely, the media will be attracted by his presence. And those who are in different parts of the world will watch the glorious coming of the Lord. Now, I don't want to take you backward. There's a difference between rapture and the second coming.
Of course. And, and we're not even spending time to break down the whole thing of the last things. But what you're saying is clear. It's the fact that all that has to do with media, the satellite broadcast today, which has revolutionized media, and it's all been in the plan of God. Part of what prophecy has said in the beginning. And that means we that are believers have to walk with God into this.
Exactly.
Step into this space, because if we don't, we miss out of a platform God has provided for something bigger than what is being used for now.
Chim, God created Facebook.
Yeah.
Not the man that is called the founder of Facebook. God put in his brain
to create it.
To create Facebook. Today, Facebook is the greatest tool for disseminating the gospel.
Yeah.
You know, God created the media. Satan he didn't create anything good.
God inspired the creation of the media, yes.
Of course. He put it in your spirit and somebody gave birth to it.
Yeah.
You know, so God is interested in the media. Jesus said that the end shall come when the word has been totally published. Another word for it, broadcast. So today you find that more gospel is being preached through the media that the four wall of church cannot preach.
Yeah, you know, we're going to take a break now, Jake. And when we come back, I want you to just talk into how we can key into this platform, this whole media thing that God has created. I think we are doing a lot, but there's still so much to be done. In fact, this perception that, look, this is a bit ugly, or there's a bit of evil in it that drives people away from the center of the media, is something that we need to pull down and just release an army of people who can grab hold of this thing that God has created and use it for this end time harvest. Dear viewers at home, I've been talking to Jake Epelle. He's the CEO of the Abino Foundation, and we've been talking media, just the things the Lord has been speaking to him about the Christian or the church and the media. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, Jake will seek to apply this to what we should be doing, how we can key, that's the word you use, how we can key into what God is doing. Don't go away. We'll take a break now. Welcome back there, viewers, and welcome the audience in the studio to this second part of my interview with Jake Epelle. Jake, before we left, you opened my eyes to some words in the Hebrew. I just, no, it's beautiful the way you unpacked Psalm 19 there. Because, you know, just just the words and the fact that what they link to and what is happening today. Because if we can understand, not just that media is good, but that media is born by God, it's created by God, we begin to ask ourselves, how can we make the most of this gift from God? Now, tell me, in your thinking, how can we make the most of it?
First of all, the church left what God gave them and put it in the hand of the devil, and the enemy is using it against God's people.
In the beginning, right, we were slow in coming on board.
Exactly.
It seems we're always slow in coming on board. Facebook suddenly looks a bit funny, then later we come on board, but then it is, we're
but those
coming in
things
late.
are there for us to use. The only thing is, we need to use it excellently.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You know, if we bring in the spirit of mediocrity, the system is going to reject us.
Yeah, because
we need to also do it differently.
The quality is not
exactly.
We think since it's Christian, we don't have.
Let me also shock you. Let me also
you know
shock
what,
you.
I'm saying something there.
Yeah.
Because this is a struggle we have.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a struggle of the financing of it. Sometimes it's our mindset, and we feel, look,
excellence doesn't need
requires
money.
so much money. It just requires the mindset.
Exactly.
To make sure you're doing it as
spirit.
beautiful as possible.
Is a spirit. Daniel 5:14, and Daniel had an excellent spirit. It's a spirit. Now, the myth about excellence is not sophistication.
Yeah.
Excellence is doing the right thing accurately and delivering it as though Christ is delivering it.
And doing it with such intention.
Yeah. Here's the problem.
Yeah.
The problem with, number one, I'm going to make a very strong statement. There are many pastors on television that have no business being on television.
Okay.
The work you do is a call. That's why you can do it with ease.
Yeah.
The world don't go on set without paper.
Yeah.
Look at you doing what you're called to do without any piece of paper. That's how you know you're called to do it. It's in your DNA, it's in your blood. So what we must do, number one, we must do something differently. Following the Spirit of God. God is still the ultimate creator.
Yeah.
He will give you something different that had never been done.
Yeah.
When you do it excellently, the whole world will come to your feet.
Amen. Amen.
I don't want to mention names.
Yeah.
When I started my TV program, I wanted all the ministers, the big ministers, the frontline ministers and all that. Nobody was coming. And the Lord said to me, he said, sit down. Do what you're doing well. When you finish doing it well, they will come to you.
Yeah.
When I finish doing it well, who is who in this Lagos started lining up and wanting to be on my program.
Amen.
So you must do it differently. Number two, you must do it excellently. Number three, you must do it efficiently. Number four, you must do it effectively.
Yeah.
You know, you must plan strategically what you want to do and deliver. Have the right messaging.
Yeah.
Have the right messaging.
And that's really what we're about.
Yes.
It's the message.
And
it's the message, really.
Size your audience. Your program is not for everybody.
No.
You must look at the kind of audience that you want to reach and then use professionals.
Yeah.
Many of them are in your churches. You're intimidated to use them. Just because you are anointed does not make you a professional.
Yeah.
Just because you are anointed does not. Otherwise, God wouldn't have given somebody to Moses to help him to build the temple. So you must use professionals around you and be humble to take their advice.
Yeah.
Be humble to take their advice. Just because you are their pastor does not mean you know what they know. So they will tell you, no, you're not doing it the right way.
Yeah.
You know, this is how to do it, you know. Another thing too is you must look out for what your people need, what the people you want them to watch you, what they need. If your program is youth-driven, then go youth.
Yeah.
If your program, if you want to reach the aged, then reach them. Know the right language, know the right platform, give them what they want without contradicting the Bible.
Yeah, stay true to the gospel.
That's right.
But be flexible to
That's
meet
right.
the
For
audience.
instance, you're a missionary.
Yeah.
Sir, this is the greatest mission field.
Amen.
This is the greatest because what you're doing, the Muslim will watch it.
Yeah.
The Hindus will watch
Yeah.
it. The atheists will watch it.
Yeah.
And through that, they will see the light of the gospel.
Yes.
This is the greatest platform
Amen.
for evangelism.
Amen. 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 Jake, so somebody is watching this and is saying, where do I start from? I hear that man speaking on TV. I love what he's saying. I just feel I've known for long that God's called me into the space of the media. He's called me to engage and pass his message through here. Where does it start from? It might be a pastor, but it might also be just somebody out there who God's called just like he called you. So where does it start from?
Number one, it's a call, it's not a job.
Yeah.
Are you called? That's where to start.
Yeah.
But before then, are you a born-again Christian?
Yes.
Because it is the born-again mind that God can, through that mind, give you birth
That's the
vision.
starting point. You can't even carry God's message if you've not carried God's life.
Exactly. So number one, are you born again? Number two, what type of program that you want to do?
What is God calling you?
What is God calling you to do?
Because it's not just one size fits all.
Yeah. So once you know that, look around you. Are there people around you that can help you make what you want to do? Some of them are professionals.
Look for helpers.
Somebody who works in a television station, you say it's a secular television station, and it's in your church. It's the same thing.
It's just like the man called Austin Awolono who helps to direct this. Without that man, I wouldn't get started. I mean, my own testimony is that I had this idea.
No, and you haven't tapped in the brain of Austin.
And it's the man that introduced me to you.
You have not tapped in his brain.
He's still trying to renew my mind.
So can you imagine people like that?
Yeah.
People like that are in churches where they have huge resources.
Yeah.
Why don't you take somebody like that, put a little resources in them?
The ironic thing is that the word profits from them more than the church profits from them. Because they see the value in them more than...
Chim, in God, you either use it or you lose it. You either use it or you lose it.
So I cut into you. You say look for people who can help you.
Yeah. So look for people who can help you. Sit down with them and plan the program. Allow them to buy you airtime that is affordable.
Yeah.
Don't go to the station as Pastor Chim.
Yeah.
They will bill you.
Yeah.
So use
look
that
for what works for you.
Look out for the right
space.
Belt.
Yeah.
For the right time within the station when people will watch, and then establish a feedback mechanism so that people can tell you, I watch your program, this is what I see, this is what I see, do it this way. So you must be teachable, And finally, be willing to change.
Yeah.
If you do it the first time and it's not right, be willing to change so that you can do it and get it right.
Yeah, good. It's a very, 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 very solid point. Very solid points there. Jake, what do you see as we round up? What do you see the Lord calling the church in this space? We are the generation, believe me, more than anybody else who has lived. When we used to talk about multimedia 20 or 30 years ago, we didn't know the level of multimedia we would have today.
That's right.
Multimedia has gone to another level. We have various platforms.
That's right.
I mean, we can sit here and broadcast live on Facebook, and people will watch us.
That's right.
So what do you see in terms of the church and the media prophetically in the coming years?
I see from what Daniel saw. When Daniel said, knowledge shall increase, we didn't think through to know that if knowledge increases, it can only increase through a medium.
Yeah.
So I see greater exploit in various shades of media.
Yeah.
Social media just came out a few years ago.
Now it's everywhere. It's as if it's always been here.
There's going to be more discovery. There's going to be more segment of the media. Media will be in people's palm. It's already in people's palm. Today, you're walking people. Somebody was going out of the plane. He's still texting. I've seen husband and wife.
Texting to each other instead of talking to each other.
They're eating. They're testing each other. So there's going to be further explosion in knowledge dissemination. The church must wake up. The church must wake up. We must wake up and face reality and embrace the gift that God is giving to every one of us. Don't reject the media just because you're not in the media. Don't also abandon the media just because you feel I can't afford it. There are many of them today that all you need is just look at TD Jakes. It was just one window of opportunity in the media that blew him all over the world. So don't ever give up. If God has called you to do media, stay there.
Even when it's tough.
That's how you know that God called you.
Yeah, because many times people start it off, it becomes tough. 1 year, 2 years, they stop. But
God didn't call you.
Yeah,
then.
because
God didn't tell you to do it.
I mean, your word of your own story on TV is an encouragement, because you talked about how in the beginning nobody wanted, and that's the time people bail out, not knowing that it's not going to be rosy. You're not going to get a followership just by appearing one day or in 6 months. You're going to have to stick it on a long run.
That's right.
Based on a call from God.
That's right. And Chim, another thing is build partnership.
Yeah.
There are 3 things that makes an organization successful. Number 1 is shared vision. Share your vision around. Number 2, create systems, processes. Number 3, strategy. Let me add number 4, synergy. You need partnership. You need partnership. And this is one thing that I will strongly advise. Look out for organizations and churches that have built strong partnership, you know, not just for them to give, tell me, how did you do it, you know, and build
sometimes an advice is much better than even the funding. And you know, Jake, as you speak, I hear you encouraging a lot of people. And I believe in Africa, God is raising up a new breed of people, not just to stand up and do what everybody's been doing, because you said, let's do it differently. It doesn't have to be that we watch you preaching in church. God might be giving you an idea to create something different. And let's do it differently, but let's know that God wants to pass that message out. The message of the gospel of Christ through the testimonies of what he's doing in the lives of people in the various facets of it. Jake, unfortunately, we have to land this year. We have to land this year. We wouldn't be taking questions. You've been such a blessing to us.
Thank you, sir.
What's your last word to the people watching all over Africa?
As you look at me today, I want you to remember the day you were born. The day you were born, you cried. Everyone around you were rejoicing. When you live your life so well, the day you die, you will rejoice. And everyone around you will cry. That's a life of contribution.
That is a good way to land it. Let's be people that when we die and leave this earth, people will be weeping because we made life different for them for good. Jake, thank you for joining us.
As a matter of fact, after this program, write your obituary.
Let's give him a round of applause. This is where we'll be landing it. Thank you for joining us. I'll be back later in the other segment to wrap up. Hi there, thanks for watching this video. I want you to do 4 things before you go away. Number 1, click on the subscribe button here. And then number 2, click on the bell button. That will allow you to get an alert every time we post a new video. And we're posting new videos, edifying interviews and edifying words every week. Number 3, please leave a comment on that. Let us know what you think, whether good or bad. And lastly, share this channel with your friends. Let them know that something is happening here. Thank you for joining us. Keep coming back.